Currently the tax season here in the Netherlands, and being a bookkeeper, I have been helping quite a number of people with their income tax returns, both for people who are in business, the self-employed people that I help keep their bookkeeping, but also people who are in full-time employment. Sometimes there are people who have full-time employment and also have a business on the side. In this video, I'll be discussing some of the observations that I have come across when it comes to the understanding of income tax and income tax returns for those who have full-time employment and a business on the side. So if you are one of those who have a job and a side business and you have been wondering how exactly you are being taxed, or you are feeling that you are paying too much tax than you anticipated, or maybe you are considering starting a side business next to your job, this video will help you understand a little better how the income tax works when you have a job and a business on the side. My name is Goodness Abara, and I am a bookkeeper here in the Netherlands. I work mostly with self-employed persons, coaches, consultants, online business owners, and other small businesses. And on my channel, I seek to provide information and educational content to help those who want to start business or already doing business in the Netherlands as solopreneurs. If that is something that is of interest to you, then I welcome you to my channel and I encourage you to subscribe so that you can follow along on the several topics that I cover on this channel. So let's go into the income tax returns when you have a job and a business on the side. Number one, how much tax do you get to pay when you have a side business next to your job? What I have observed is that for those who are in paid employment, being that the income tax from payroll is deducted at source by the employer, they usually do not feel it when this money goes out. They just know that X amount of money is paid into my bank account and all I have to do is budget and plan my life expenses around that money. But when it comes to a business income, what hits your bank account is the total gross amount. Pension has not been removed, income tax has not been removed, social security contribution has not been removed. You, the business owner, is the one who is supposed to put the funds aside from your business income. But a lot of the time, those who run side business, they lose sight of this specific thing. And they simply spend the money they get into the bank account just as they will spend their salaries. And so when the income tax returns season comes around, they suddenly discover that they are asked to pay this amount of money, and because they have never planned for it, it appears outrageous and unreasonable. Generally, you do not pay more tax than those who are in paid employment. Your tax will be based on your total income at the end of the year. Income from employment plus income from business. And when we talk about income from business, we are talking about your turnover less any expense that you incurred to generate that income. So we talk about your profit. If your profit plus income from your salary work is above 75,000 and more, then you are likely to pay more tax. In the Netherlands, the higher you earn, the higher you pay in taxes. My recommendation to you is, if you know that you are a highly skilled employee whose income is in the region of 75,000, 80,000, and you also earn income from a side business, then it is safe for you to allocate 50% of that side business income. Just reserve it aside until the end of the year, when you know exactly how much tax you will pay. Because the tax on your business is not deducted at source, you will be paying that tax at the end of the year during the income tax returns. I see that this is where people find it difficult a lot of the time. The money has been spent and now you have a tax bill of 50,000 because you have income in excess of 100,000 and you're wondering, where am I going to get that money? Please, if you know you are earning income from side business, there are many tax calculation templates online. Do well to make use of one of those so that you can keep money aside for your income tax returns. Number 2 is confusing VAT returns with income tax returns. I do get this question often. Hey, goodness, I have been paying my taxes on a quarterly basis. Do I still have to pay tax again at the end of the year? The answer is yes. VAT returns is different from income tax returns. On this channel, I have videos where I explain the difference between VAT returns and income tax returns. I'll link one of the videos on the screen above. Please watch it to understand. But just to briefly explain, VAT is not your money. VAT is the money that the customer gets to pay to the government, but you, the business owner, collect that money on behalf of the government and you remit it through the quarterly VAT returns. Income tax, on the other hand, is the tax you pay on the income you earn from doing your business. And usually as a business person, it is taxed on your profit. Your turnover less your expenses, the profit is what is taxed. So don't mix your VAT returns with your income tax returns. They are two separate things. 21% on your service is VAT returns. You send it to the tax authority every quarter. It is not the same thing as income tax returns. The other point that is usually very contentious is tax benefits. Yes, as a business person, you're supposed to get all kinds of tax benefits. But what happens when you have a job next to your business, or when you have a business next to your job? Every individual in the Netherlands who earns income and files tax returns is entitled to general tax benefit. Everyone gets it. If you earn income and you file your taxes, it is also applied to your payroll. So you get that tax benefit in your payroll. You also get that tax benefit for being in employment. Now, your employer would usually apply the maximum tax benefit on your behalf through the payroll. Now, what about the tax benefits that is unique to business owners? Entrepreneurs in the Netherlands are self-employed people. They have certain tax allowances, but there are conditions. One of those is you must spend a higher percentage of your working hours on the business, and there is the criterion of 1,225 hours a year. This translates to 3 working days a business. If you have a 40-hour work week and you spend your weekends or evenings on your side business, then you cannot benefit from that entrepreneur's allowance because you're just doing a side hustle. And if you don't qualify for that 1,225 hours, you don't get to benefit from those tax benefits, the starters allowance and self-employed person's allowance. You also, if you don't qualify as an entrepreneur for income tax returns, you don't also benefit from profit exemption. But if you are a full entrepreneur, you will benefit from these 3 allowances, and that reduces the tax you get to pay on your profit as a business person. The 4th point on my list is core exemption and income tax. So you also get the question that I am exempted from VAT returns, so I don't have to pay tax. But again, back to the subject of the difference between VAT and income tax. Your core exemption exempts you from doing VAT administration on a quarterly basis. It does not exempt that income from being taxed. Now, if all the income you have is less than 20,000 euros and you don't have income from paid employment, the tax you will pay on that amount will be very, very minimal overall if your total income in the year is less than 20,000. But if you have a job that you are earning full-time salary from and you have this side hustle that you're making 10,000 or 15,000 euros, that will definitely attract extra income tax liability. Another point of discussion is, I have already paid so much tax through my payroll. Why do I have to pay tax on this side income? The rule is that you pay tax on all your income. You have to declare all the income you earn from your job as well as from your side business. You have to declare the full income. Your job is usually taxed through your employer, and that of your business will be taxed when you make your income tax returns. And like previously explained, the higher your income, the higher your tax bill will likely be. So, what can you do to overall reduce your income tax liability? A few things you can do to reduce your income tax liability. If your business is lucrative and you see future in your business and you believe that if you focus on your business, this business is going to be very profitable for you and expand into a big thing, then you can consider reducing your work hours from your paid employment and allocating more working hours to your business. And usually when we are talking about these hours, we are looking at the regular work hours, 40-hour work week. So you can commit 24 hours to your business and a reduced amount of hours in paid employment. Of course, you have to be cautious about your own specific situation. If you are on a highly skilled migrant visa, for instance, then that is a risk you should not take because your visa is based on your job. If you stop your work, you will likely lose your visa. And sometimes it can be very difficult converting from highly skilled migrant visa to self-employment visa. So it's not a step you want to take lightly. You want to critically look at it before you take that step. Another point is, if you are currently renting accommodation, you might consider buying a home, taking a mortgage to buy a home. Your mortgage interest will be tax deductible. So let's say you pay 1,000 euros every month as interest on your mortgage. Then it means at the end of the year you would have spent 12,000 euros as interest on your mortgage. The 12,000 euros will be a tax deductible item in your income tax returns. If you juxtapose that with paying rent, that rent cannot be deducted from your income tax returns. So getting a mortgage is one of the ways you can reduce your tax liability. Another way to minimize your tax liability is ensuring that all the costs you incur to generate the revenue, you want to make sure that you recognize everything in your bookkeeping. So the cost of your equipment, internet, traveling. If you work from home, for instance, and you had to buy a home office table, home office chair, anything that you had to spend on specifically to be able to carry out your side business, those are business costs. They should be brought in as expense to reduce your profit. Did you have to take insurance? Did you have to take certain subscriptions to be able to do the business? All of those activities, you want to recognize them in your bookkeeping. And sometimes it might be that you outsource the job to external parties. Such costs you also want to bring in into your bookkeeping in order to reduce your profit element. So these are the points that stand out to me as I help people with their income tax returns during this period about. And that's why I decided to make this video, to throw more light around taxes when you have a full-time job and a side business. Hopefully this has been very helpful for you. If yes, consider subscribing to this video. And go watch the next video on the screen where I talk about tax allowances, deductions, and benefits, so you can have a deeper understanding of the tax allowances that is available to you as a business person or as an income earner in the Netherlands. I will see you again in the next video. Take care.